In Iraq under the US occupation, a civil resistance movement has emerged in the midst of the chaos of continuing terrorist attacks carried out by political Islamic groups. This new movement does not resort to armed attacks. While organizing itself, this movement has begun yielding many positive results. It has spread beyond the boundaries of Iraq into an international movement with ripples appearing in Europe, Asia, and the United States of America. It is the hope of peace-loving people throughout the world. The Iraqi civil resistance is not an armed struggle, but a mass movement protesting the occupation and terrorist attacks. Various organizations working for a democratic Iraq have joined this coalition. FWCUI, the Federation of Workers' Councils and Unions in Iraq, was founded by workers from all over Iraq in December 2003. In the face of the current oppression, which is even harsher than that under the Hussein regime, the FWCUI has encouraged workers to form unions and waged anti-occupation campaigns around the country. UUI, the Union of the Unemployed in Iraq, was formed with the aim of improving the conditions of the more than 10 million jobless. They are demanding that government authorities grant unemployment benefits and create new jobs. OWFI, the Organization of Women's Freedom in Iraq, is appealing for gender equality in the face of increasing religious pressure and growing infringements of women's rights. In Baghdad and Kirkuk, it is running shelters for women and so far has provided refuge to about 20 women. On March 18, 2005, these organizations of the Iraqi Civil Resistance Front formed a single body with the aim of ending the occupation and restoring Iraqi civil society. The foundation of the new group, the Iraq Freedom Congress, or IFC, attracted the attention of the media at home and abroad, with the following manifesto.
IFC is a direct response to all these problems going on in Iraq in terms of occupation, in terms of Islamism. We want to organize a civil movement to end both Islamism and occupation and to have our own egalitarian secular solution that people in Iraq could live with dignity, with freedom that they deserve, and first of all, not to be divided on the basis of gender, religion, ethnic backgrounds, and religious sects, basically. It's about the struggle of women for freedom and equality. It's about the struggle of workers. It's about the struggle of students and the struggle of secular people in Iraq who have been organizing themselves and mobilizing themselves against these two poles of international terrorism.
The IFC aims to realize a secular and democratic society without any religious or ethnic discrimination. It resists the US occupation and the rise of political Islam, and its manifesto points to a strategy to wage political and social movements rather than armed struggles.
من بتسنموني باس بكم لبصروا بين طبعا لنا وش ميران لنا وكريكاران لنا وخلق لنا وجنان لهر شنيك باس ما كردوا بيشوازي جزور قولي كراو تيانا وحلا لنا صرية لبصرة لبغاء لا كركو لهم شنيك باس يمين ما كردوا عراق بيوستي بساز دانوي مدنيته بساز دوباره هنا نوي جاني كروتيني نورمالي ينهي بخلق بيشوازي جزور قولي كراوا لنا وما مستوى جامعة وبيقرا لكريكاران لجنان للا وحتى ناخذ يومنا راني كم باسمرت كسانك زور نار حتى نبوي كمان الله بمشي ويدا بين جنز بوخد شيء زور قوريه العراق كم خونوا عواتكي خنشان راوا بلام لا اي اف سي ده هني اللي بينيتوا لو باش تبرزستل بردست منه
3 days before the founding of the IFC, an incident took place which symbolized today's Iraq. While a group of Basra University students were having a picnic, members of an armed militia belonging to the Al-Sadr group assaulted a female student, a Christian who was among them. She was seriously injured, and a male student who rushed to protect her was shot and killed. Having been suppressed by political Islam up to that point, the students finally stood up against this tragedy. Thikra, a student who helped to organize the movement, gives her account of the struggle.
لا الطلاب نفسهم احنا مجرد يعني ساعدناهم وانطيناهم الدعم وكنا وياهم نشجعهم يعني وكان وجودي انا بالاخص لان ابني الوحيده او حاشي حتى انا بحكي عن جماعتي. لا هو يقول لما قررنا المظاهره احنا لجنه عمل طلابي او الطلاب احنا لجنه العمل الطلابي بنفس اليوم بالليل قررنا نكتب بيانات ونجمع الطلاب للتظاهر. ما كنا متوقعين ان الطلاب عندهم هيك غضب وهيك حماس، مو بس الحاله اللي صارت يوم 15 من قبل. لما رحت ولقيت يعني الطلاب هيك متحمسين ويردون بس واحد يحفزهم. دخلت للجامعه قالوا لي ذكرى شنو عندك اليوم بيانات؟ دروا بي يعني في احنا فكرنا وما فكروا.
Several thousand students and citizens responded to the call. With support from the IFC, the Circle of Solidarity has expanded to students in Iraq and abroad. They daringly staged demonstrations in the face of attacks by armed Islamists and finally won an apology from Islamist political authorities and then drove them off the campus. This victory at the University of Basra made the public realize the visible power of the political and social mass movement, even when it did not resort to armed attacks.
Against Islamists, and they wanted to be free, they wanted to be, they don't want anyone to interfere in their lives, to tell them what to do, to tell them what to wear, and they wanted to end the Islamists' rule in Basra, and that shows that no matter what Muqtada Assad's group do, no matter what other Islamic groups are doing, they cannot impose their dark rules over Iraqi people.
Student committees like this one are now being established at various universities. At the University of Sulaimania, more than 3,000 students joined demonstrations against the privatization of universities, and a 40-day sit-in was carried out. Here you can see female students demonstrating together with their male colleagues. In September, student representatives gathered together to establish a national federation of student councils, which immediately joined the IFC. This student movement is now growing as an influential force in Iraqi society. In pursuit of freedom and rights, women are also speaking out courageously. The OWFI, or Organization of Women's Freedom in Iraq, was the first group to begin protesting the draft constitution based on Islamism as the source of law. As the issue of the constitution became a focal point for the international community, OWFI's opinions were featured on a British TV news program.
In Baghdad over the weekend want women's rights enshrined in the new constitution, but they also want the Western occupiers out.
Continuation of the invasion inside Iraq is something that is totally rejected by Iraqis. We are being humiliated every day in the streets by the soldiers, by the tanks. Even if they do not kill you, they humiliate you while they are moving in the streets.
American soldiers.
The OWFI condemns this constitution, as it is merely a means to justify the U.S. occupation and legitimize discrimination against women.
Another midnight deadline approaches. They've been talking all day, but within the past...
I'm joined now by Hussein Mahmoud, the UK head...
During the TV program, Ms. Hosan, a representative of the OWFI in the UK, appeared in the studio with a high-ranking official from the Iraqi government. she flatly rejected the officials' opinion that the Constitution protects the status of women.
And you can see that the Islamization is already going on. The women's heads are already being covered by force of arms and terror against women and against the whole society in Iraq. And that constitution is only a reactionary religious declaration against the people of Iraq and against the rights and freedom of the women in Iraq. And I think it's not going to change anything of the dark reality that we've been faced with.
The OWFI also launched a number of new projects. On International Women's Day in March, it sponsored a photograph and picture exhibition and a concert in addition to a demonstration and a rally. The themes of the paintings exhibited by Iraqi artists were representations of the situation facing women in Iraq. The pictures highlighted the burdens on Iraqi women. Within their difficult everyday lives under the occupation, this event gave them a valuable opportunity to enjoy their respective cultures and consider their own rights. A workers' movement is also developing. On April 8th in Baghdad, the FWCUI, one of the key organizations in the IFC, held its second convention. One feature of the FWCUI struggle for gender equality is a notable ratio of women among the participants. Nada from the OWFI also attended the convention and gave a press conference. On top of her work defending victimized women, she has been helping them to become independent participants in democratic movements. Under martial law, more than 200 union representatives and activists gathered from around the country, and from this gathering, the subsequent activities developed. On May 1st, workers waged May Day demonstrations across Iraq. This is a portion of the report from Basra, showing some images of the demonstration carried out there. Due to the devastation caused by the war and the continuing turmoil, a growing number of families are losing their dwellings and becoming homeless. The Homeless Association, a member organization of the IFC, is carrying out extensive activities to support them.
اسم جمعية التفاهم العوائل المشردة التي تضم أكثر من 15,000 مواطن ومواطنة والتي تضم تظاهرات واحتجاجات تلك العوائل التي تسكن الخرائب والتي تطالب بالسكن اللائق للفقراء. أتقدم بالتهنئة إلى الطبقة العاملة العمالية بمناسبة العيد العمال العالمي أننا نتضامن مع أخواننا العمال بأننا نؤكد على وحدة المصير. جينا للتضامن مع جميع الفقراء في العالم. علينا أن نرص صفوفنا. بدون رص صفوفنا لا نستطيع أن نحقق أي مطلب من مطالبنا. يجب أن نؤكد على استقلاليتنا كطبقة عاملة عن كل الجهات وكل الأحزاب وكل الحكومات والإدارات. يجب أن نكون قوة واحدة.
At the conclusion of the demonstration, they handed a letter of demands to the